good conduct. Yeah, as Metal said there, life sometimes has a tendency to jump up there on you. But Metal, I sure hope everything's good at the ranch now.
Yeah, we're all set. Had some busted pipes over here, but it was a very small matter compared to what many people were facing, especially up there in Ole Miss country, man, in Oxford. Those people, they've been through hell. So I think power is back for most people there. Um, so we wish those guys a speedy recovery.
Yeah, yeah. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in North Mississippi there from the Rebel Nation Conversation crew here. Even some of our other friends over there in the Kennel area of Starkville. I mean, that's a hard time of life to be, hard time of the year to be without power. That's for sure.
Yep, and I tell you, and I think I mentioned this to you, or I told somebody the other day. I would almost rather be without power than I had to be without running water.
Um,
It's,
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
mean, neither of them are something I wish for, but when you don't have running water, it's just like you just don't realize how. I mean, we use water for everything. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
we're back in business now, thank God.
Yep. All right. Well, let's start out with a little Ole Miss news here for sure. The one to really kind of stay on is the Trinidad Chambliss news. As of now, they set the court date. It is set for February 12th at 9:30
February
a.m.
12th.
in the morning. Uh, in a post made by Rebels 247 writer Chase Parham, he said that the appeals committee will meet today, actually, Wednesday, February 4th. They seem to be delivering over practice notes from the 22 season. The argument, of course, being if he could practice, then he could play. Um, Again, this is coming out of Chase. He's like, I mean, there's like so many holes in that argument because, I mean, first of all, how good are the notes that Ferris State's going to be taking during those times as far as practices and everything?
Not
But
not only that, if they say the kid practiced, what does that mean? I mean, does that mean it was full force? Does it mean he tossed a few footballs around? I mean,
yeah,
so
yeah,
a guy could be far from ready and still will have, considered practicing based
yeah.
on
I
your
mean, I think
definition of the term.
yeah, I think you kind of would go through like some drills, and that's where I think it comes down to how detailed is Ferris State taking? Are they saying he ran full speed for 3 hours straight, or are they being detailed, or they just said he was participating in some team activity? I don't, it's going to depend on that.
And it in
But
their defense at the time, why would they give a detailed practice report for their fourth string quarterback?
yeah, I mean, no, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like Chase said, it's just too many holes. But anyway, the decision could be as early as today, or as to by this afternoon. But and that's all according to Chase Parham, who is the Rebels 247, one of the Rebels 247 beat writers. I, for one, think we may have a ruling on this appeal at least by the end of this week. Because as I stated in this show last week or a week before, the NCAA were to rule in favor of another year, it would not carry the weight of setting precedent. If it's done on the appeal. So I honestly think we hear something by the end of this week. I don't think it gets to that court case. I honestly don't. I think they're gonna want to avoid that.
Yeah. And it's like you mentioned last week. I don't think people realize what a big deal that is for the NCAA to not be in a position to have set precedent.
Yep.
That's a big deal for them to be able to avoid that, in regards to this case, because I know what they're thinking. They're thinking next year, man, we're going to be flooded. Everybody and their brother's going to want their star fifth year senior players to come back for next year. So I get that too.
Well, and but
It's,
like if you watch my solo edition that I put out yesterday, the main thing is it's a medical redshirt, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have documented. If that happens going
But
forward, they're going
they've
to have
got it, don't they?
documentation. Oh, Ole Miss does, and
Ole
Fair
Miss
State
says,
does.
yeah.
Well, through Fair State, I'm talking about others if they had a set of precedent.
Oh,
But
right, right.
it's still going to be a precedent only regarding to a medical red shirt, if the way I understand it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I just, from all I've seen, from all I've read, from all I've heard, and you and I have talked about it, I don't think there's a world that he's not our quarterback next year.
yeah, I totally agree. I just hope I don't want it to go to court. I just don't.
No, I don't either.
I'd
And
like
like
it
you
to be
said, I
one of
don't think the
those.
NCAA wants it to go to court either.
No, because they keep losing in court.
Yeah.
That's the reason the one-time transfer rule got overruled, and now they can just transfer on him at damn times they freaking want to because somebody finally got upset, took him to court, and the court ruled in favor of the player.
Yeah.
So
Which, as it turns out, was something that we all hate.
Yeah, we hate it. It's great for
Transfer
the
every
player.
2 seconds.
It's great for the player. They can do what they want to do. Go out there and try to get as much money. But it's it's the NCAA really has no balls anymore. They have no teeth. And therefore, that kind of segues me into my next little topic I'd like to bring up. Is the Tamper-Gate stuff. Honestly, it's just not a whole lot they can do. I mean, they don't have any balls anymore.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Moving on into this second week of Tamper-Gate or third week, whatever it is, my biggest takeaway from this week is, boy, the noise sure has died down.
Oh, yeah. Yes, died.
And I think people are realizing that there's not much going to happen. Of course, our friends over there, Rose Bowl and his bunch, are
they want it.
They're predicting, nuclear winter for Ole Miss, but that's just not going to happen. I hate it for them. But but yeah, already the noise is coming down. People have moved on to the next thing, and that's just the way it is. And listen, I said last week, Dabo, he wasn't wrong in what he was saying. And I actually took it that everybody says he went scorched earth on Ole Miss, and I guess he did. But I think to Dabo's bigger point was just in general, the problem in general of transferring in the portal. What we just talked about, kids being able to transfer every 2 seconds. Man, we keep saying it's got to stop. It's got to change. It's not sustainable. But it keeps going. I mean, where do we go from here? What next? The Luke Ferrelli thing, what does that mean? Does it change anything? I mean,
I get.
You would think that all the noise around the Tamper-Gate, at least originally, would. I mean, man, if this doesn't change some things, that's freaking lost cause.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, but what I just said, though, they have no teeth anymore. So they can change legislation. But the reason why they're not wanting to change their legislation is because they keep losing in courts. Someone's going to sue. And when they sue, they're going to lose. So it's kind of to the point, well, okay, whatever. Make it a free-for-all. Honestly,
yeah, but
that's.
I hear you, but man, I mean, what does this look like in 3 years and 5 years?
Well, that's
kids transferring after the first quarter.
Well, no, that's what.
I mean,
that would be cool, but
bro. I mean, it's so.
But that's what I brought up last week. this is leading straight up to we're going to have a collective bargaining agreement. It's the only damn
Yes.
way we can do it. We're going to
Yeah.
have to break away, and there's going to have to become true contracts. Pay to play is going to have to become totally freaking legal, and we got to set up some sort of a players union, and then and a deal with and the owners association. They need to follow the NFL's rule because no matter if I care for the NFL or whatever, they're still the absolute best run sports
Oh,
organization in all the
without
world.
question. Nobody
Uh,
else is close. And we've got to
and
quit being scared of this pay to play. That's what it is. Everybody needs to quit pretending otherwise. The old heads, the old school guys, buddy, it's a fight you've
anything,
lost. It's pay to play.
anything, anything outside of calling it pay to play is just semantics. It's still pay to play. Uh, so, I mean, it's not so much giving we don't have to give the NCAA teeth back. What we need to do is to put it in the hands of another organization altogether, which will be a collective bargaining agreement type situation where there's true contracts in place that keeps you from being able to just go. There's no free agency until
Right.
you've reached. I'd say at least, or we can even negotiate in. All right, you get one time during this 4 year or 5 years to play four. You get one time transfer. One time
But
free
it's
agency. If you take it after your freshman year, you don't got it again.
but it's
If you
got to be
take it at,
contracts that are actually honored. Because right now contracts don't mean a damn thing.
well, I mean, you'll have your buyouts, of course, and everything, and the buyouts need to go right directly back to rev share because that's what it does in the pros. In the NFL, if someone buys your contract out or whatever, that goes back into your cap.
As
If you
opposed to
had
now buyout money.
it just goes into the regular general fund, I guess, and you still only
Yeah.
have $20.5 million to spend.
That's insane to me.
Right. So if
How
someone
can it
buys you
not
out,
move?
it needs to go to 21 million.
That's what the money's for.
Right. It's coming out of their rev share. It needs to go into your rev share.
Correct.
And there needs to be, again, the contract. I believe they can only have the one-time transfer only. And we put it in that contract. And if you do, it's a triple-year buyout deal, all paid by the player.
And
I mean, there's
I'll
a
tell you,
simple way to fix this.
there is, and I'll tell you something else. There's another podcaster I follow on YouTube, Uncle Lou. He's a Georgia fan, but he's really good. He's got a big following, and I've been looking at his stuff for a long time. And he had a good point the other day. The average college football fan don't understand how all this works.
I know.
Hell, I don't understand how it all works. And one of the guys he had on his show said, well, you should educate yourself on the sport we love. No, you shouldn't have to go to a freaking 2-week seminar, 2-week school to figure out how college football works. You shouldn't have to do that. But right now, that's where we're at. I mean, with the portal rules, and they're constantly being tweaked, they're constantly being changed. And the clearinghouse, man, that's something else that. Oh man, we could talk all day
Well,
on this
again,
stuff. But
as of right now, there is a clearinghouse, obviously, and
how legitimate do you think the clearinghouse is?
I done said I don't think the NCAA has any damn teeth. So honestly, just off of that, it can't have too much legitimacy.
I don't believe it
But
means a
also,
thing.
but also, man, we have for years people. If you're not, people's going to try to find a way to cheat. So if they need a way
Mhm.
around the clearinghouse, they'll pave the way. They'll grease some pockets. They'll figure it out. And but back to Tamper-Gate here. All right, so let's say the NCAA, changes some legislation, for right now, and tries to but they can't. I don't think they could retrograde any kind of penalties towards Ole Miss for what we did. We just followed the guidelines that were out there in front of us now, and
Well, what if they prove that the kid had what was Clemson trying to say? So he had not signed his rev share agreement,
Well, simple as this.
or does it even
Who
matter?
cares? It doesn't matter. All that
Doesn't
means is
matter.
that if he signed a rev share agreement, all that's simply going to do is put a buyout on it in place, just like with Umon Mielen. Ole Miss will pay it. Ole Miss will pay the buyout,
Yeah.
and it'll still be Luke Farrelly will be playing for the Ole Miss Rebels next year. Nothing's going to
Yeah.
change, even if he had signed that contract. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's why I said earlier, with the contracts right now are a joke. They're not being honored. They're not.
Well, the buyouts need to have some teeth. That's where the teeth is. It ain't going to be in the NCAA. The buyouts
Yeah.
need to be negotiated differently. I will give you this massive freaking deal to come play for us this year, but you're going to have to. We got to have some leverage too. You want to play? And like I said, with Umon Mielen, we didn't need to over negotiate for him. It's fine.
So
If you want to pay the $550, give it.
Well, so back to Luke Farrelly, so there was no buyout on his agreement, his deal with Clemson, right?
Well, no, right now, none of us know. We haven't seen the details, and I think Ole Miss is being quiet because of all the Dabo noise. The noise that Dabo made, Ole Miss is holding on to what they have. They're not releasing any information. As of right now, what was last reported that I've read was there was no rev share agreement even signed. But then, who was it? It was another newspaper last week that said there was.
Yeah, I've read that there was too, but it kind of leads a little bit into the next topic with how aggressive Pete has handled this situation and others. I wanted to talk a little bit about the pressure Pete Golding is under at Ole Miss, or none pressure, depending on how you see it. I don't understand. Now, it's no secret. I've told you I haven't always been a big Pete Golding fan. I haven't always been a big fan of his defenses. You know my issue with his defenses.
We've talked about it on this podcast.
We've talked about it on this podcast. But right now, he has got so much support and so much love from the Ole Miss community. What happens if the 2026 Rebels go 7-5, 8-4? How much pressure is he under to not let that happen? Like, in your opinion, with the temperature of the fan base right now, bro, we have gotten used to winning. I love it. It's been fun. It's been a hell of a ride winning 10 games a year. I don't want to go back to 8-4.
Well, I don't either, but me and you both agreed earlier on when he was hired as a coach, said if we win 8 games next year, we think that's a success.
Wait a minute. With Trinidad Chambliss?
Me and you said if we can go 8-5, we didn't think about Trinidad. All right, with Trinidad Chambliss, yeah, I still think 10 wins is on the table, but at the same time, we played a 9-game schedule. Things change next year. It's going to be hard to run that gauntlet like we did this year and come out of there with only 1 or 2 losses. It's just going to be tough. If you looked at that schedule, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
Now, yeah, I don't think he's going to be on the hot seat no matter what his daggum record is next year. But I think his 27 season would definitely, the warmth would be turned up. Now, in a lot of ways, it has that Cutcliffe feel coming behind. Everybody was on board with him hard and heavy after Tuberville done us the way he done us. Because
Yes.
And, so it has that same kind of feel, when he went out there, he won his first game, and
yeah, the last guy wasn't loyal to us. Now we've got our man. He wants to be here.
But you remember back a couple of weeks ago when we had Chance on the podcast with us, our Big C. This may be a deal that was in place when he came here.
Yeah, looks that way.
And I told you this, I already have one other, and I can't confirm nor deny this because I haven't really done the research on it, but I have one other friend up there in Oxford, that you're well aware of who I'm talking about. You've had little discussions with him on the boards. He told me in a private text message before that him and Pete Golden they friends. He actually coached his son in t-ball or baseball. But he said that he actually came to Oxford. He has his own separate contract. It was not negotiated. It was negotiated between him and Keith Carter. It wasn't part of Lane Kiffin's staff negotiations.
Right. I knew that.
And again, if that's true, that very well, hey, man, you're the coach in waiting. We just don't want to announce that, because it was pretty quick. The hiring of him was quick. But yeah, pressure. I'm with you. I don't know how much pressure he's going to feel. But I don't.
Well, he even said it himself. He said, "Man, those cheers I'm hearing out there." He said, "You let me fool around, lose a couple of games, and it's going to be a very different atmosphere." So he's not stupid. He knows that.
John Vault could crawl back up out of the grave and come back onto that sidelines, and he'd be in the same situation, man. We cheer him from again win, but if he loses a couple of games, we're going to be hiring Bruiser Kennard. I mean.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. But I don't know. I just wonder if you could get the common Ole Miss fan to settle down a little bit and an honest opinion of what you're expecting or what's acceptable from a Pete Golden coached Ole Miss Rebel team. Like you said, things have changed. We've got 9 conference games now. That's brutal.
That's a big time metric that has changed on us.
Yes, it is. Completely agree.
So thinking about going to, I think at some point we're going to see the championship games finally phased out. I've heard there's support from some of the ADs on that.
Yeah.
I know ESPN makes a lot of money, and they're going to be pushing hard to try to keep them. But, man, that throws 10 conference games at us. And then, if you get there, and then when you take Alabama this year, Alabama got lucky to get into that playoff with 3 losses. And even though that third loss was the conference championship, and it wasn't supposed to count against you, it's still a third loss. And it's just no need to even play it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's going to give 2 teams 10 conference games, and it's going to give 2 teams that 10th conference game against a great team.
Right. That yeah. I think it's going to be phased out. So
yeah,
that's a big time.
That game makes a lot of money. That game still makes a lot of money.
Well, that 9th game is a huge metric that has changed. So,
yes.
We gotta change our way of thinking too on evaluating our coaches. We just do. Because he can do great and only win 9 games. I mean, and done everything as good as possible. We never got blown out by anybody. We were in every single game. We just lost 3 games. Or we lost 4, and it was the same situation. And he's still done a good job. We just didn't get the bounces we got this year. We got some bounces this year. You have to go 11-1.
That's all fine and dandy, but you try telling the fan up there that's gotten used to winning 10, 11 games.
Oh, I know.
That's all I'm saying.
Me and you are going to be critical. We're going to be critical. I hope that me and you will call a spade a spade. I think that we will call it like we see it. But at the same time, I don't think me and you are going to overreact either. We're not going to be that guy that cannot find a center and evaluate it for what it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to see us as a football team go to what we look like as a baseball fan base, and you know what I'm talking about. That's why I got to get off the boards during baseball season, because they live and die with every pitch, every freaking throw, every hit, every out, every not out. You know,
Yeah.
They literally get so mad. Why does Bianco do that? Why if they're going to do that, they're going to live and die with every play on the football field, and cannot evaluate it from a big picture standpoint. Then they lose objectivity to me. They just do.
Yeah. And I think one of the other things that Pete has going against him, other than the 9 conference games now, is this idea that, well, it takes time. Wait till he gets his players. You know, all that's over.
Yeah, that part's over, man. Because hell,
All
I mean,
that's
he's gonna
over.
have a different squad every year anyway.
Let me tell you something. Indiana just won a national championship in year 2 of Kurt Signetti. So all that build up, he needs 5 years. All that crap is over.
Well, I mean, the transfer portal, the NIL and rev share world we're in, you're gonna have a different roster every year. So you can't sit here and say, "Well, I got to build my players." You ain't gonna build your team anyway. You're going to have to build a new team every year.
Yeah.
Well, you ready to let's transition into some bad stuff?
No, I'm not. I'm not ready at all, but
Let's do it though.
we got to do
All
it.
right. Basketball team, man. After 3 straight wins and showing signs of life, the Rebels have now dropped 4 straight. The first 3 were close, but still losses. However, last night we were blown out by the number 25 Tennessee Volunteers by scoring 84-66.
Beautiful, man.
Man, this team just ain't good. Well, they are good. They just can't find that way to win. One of the, I just don't know. You know, is there 100 ways to win, and they just keep finding the one way to lose?
Listen,
last night we weren't going to win that game, but
I'm sitting here. No, there was no world we were beating Tennessee, but I'm sitting here looking at this box score, and two players that I thought were going to really have a big year: Travis Perry and Malik Deal. Travis Perry, 0 points, 0 assists, 1 rebound.
yeah,
Malik Dia, 7 points, 6'10" Malik Dia, 1 rebound,
1 assist.
1 assist.
Had 19 minutes though. Travis Perry only had 11 minutes.
That's Malik Dia. I think Chris Beard. I think their relationship is damaged beyond repair. Beard has lost all faith in Malik Dia to only get 19 minutes. The only silver lining, man, is the young freshman, Patton Pinkins, 15 points, 36 minutes.
Yep.
AJ Storr gave us. AJ Storr he's produced, man. He's given us what we needed pretty much all year. I mean, he's had a couple of down games, but for the most part, he's been there.
15 points on 23 minutes.
23 minutes, 15 points, 4 rebounds. I mean, that's who he is. AJ Storr is a 15 points kind of guy. So he's doing his part. But, man.
You think if he got more than 23 minutes, he might could be a 20 to 25 point player?
Well, the reason he didn't get more minutes is because I think once the game got away from us, Beard just emptied the. I don't even think AJ started yesterday.
The first half looked good. Why. Or I say looked good. It was close at halftime, 26-25.
Yeah. But, man, I'll tell you what, this is, and from those who are close to the situation, they say it is eating Chris Beard alive.
Yep.
This ain't
I imagine it is.
This ain't who he is. This ain't the way his teams play.
But let's put this on him. Yeah, I mean,
we had to.
It's definitely his deal. He built this team. Yeah. He evaluated every one of these players and got them all to come there.
We have to put this on him. There's no question about it. Yeah, he can be upset and all that, and I hope he is. I'm glad he is. But man, this is buck stops with him.
Well, it's not. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it's his fault. We're not, because he can't get on the court. He can't do that. But it's got to fall back on the evaluations. He built this team. He put it together, and it just ain't what he thought it was.
Yep,
Something was
and
amiss.
it was a miss, and I happen to know that he was given a handsome NIL fund to work with.
Yep.
So this is not a case of, well, we didn't have the money to get what we needed.
Yep.
Now, what this is going to do, because Ole Miss is a football school, this is going to make certain people mighty reluctant to pony up next year for this basketball team. I mean, man, when you winning, everything's peaches and cream. You went to the Sweet 16 last year, so everybody was on top of the world, giving maybe a little more than you normally would going into this season. But now, coming off of this, it's going to be tough, buddy. However,
that's a domino effect. That's the worst thing they could possibly do.
I completely agree. However, Coach O's 19-4 Lady Rebs continue kick ass and take names. The latest victim, the Auburn Tigers, 26-point defeat.
Yeah, big time there. Huge win over the 5th-ranked Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yes,
Friday night.
That was the win of the week for sure.
That was a statement win. The Auburn game wasn't as ranked, obviously, and they just freaking outright annihilated them.
Yeah, that Vanderbilt, that's one of Yo's biggest wins here.
Yeah.
Without question.
Hey, let's jump back real quick to the men's side one time. All right, so current record, 11-11, 3-6 in the SEC.
I know where you're going. It's over.
9. Yeah, I was going to say 9 games remaining. 2 of those are against ranked teams as of right now. Number 17, Florida, 15, Vanderbilt again.
We'd have to go 7-2, buddy.
Right, and one of them games is against Alabama, who just this past weekend dropped out of the top 25. So they're a very good football team. So there's 3. So I'm just going to leave them. We would have to win 7 out of the 8 games remaining. Or is it 9 games? 9 games remaining. Right? Okay, I'm not. 7 out of the 9 games remaining.
Not 9
games
remaining.
I got it. I know what it is. I know what I got here is 7 out of the 8 games that are not against ranked teams. That's what I meant by the 8.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't see, and that's just to get you to the 10, the magic number of 10 conference wins, which is what we think gets you in the conference. In there. So outside of a freaking magical miracle run in the conference, in the SEC tournament, team is done.
Yeah, this team is done, man. This team is done.
All right. But back to the ladies again. Currently ranked 13th and 6th in the SEC. 19-4 overall, 6-2 conference record. 8 games remaining, but good Lord, if you look at that schedule, 5 of them are against nationally ranked teams.
That's because all the conference games are going to be against ranked teams, but the SEC is just so stacked. Yeah. Women's basketball.
Number 24, Alabama. 18th, Kentucky. 15, Tennessee. 6, LSU. And the 3rd ranked South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah.
So obviously they got a tough road ahead, but they're still sitting in a pretty good spot, right? With 3 teams ahead of it. The 3 teams that are ahead of them in the conference standings are still on our schedule.
And the way I look at it, those teams, they have to play us.
Yeah.
This is Joe's best roster. By far. One thing that's always been kind of the bugaboo for the women's team is we've always played hellacious defense, but we haven't had the offensive firepower. We got it. We've got it this year with Cody McMahon. She is a scoring machine. And we've got good 3-point shooters, which Joe's never had. So I'm telling you, this is by far her best roster. I will be surprised if we don't see a deep run by this team. I'm thinking anything less than Sweet 16 will be a disappointment. I'm telling you, man, I'm high on that team. And they could fall off a cliff. We all know how sports works, but they've got the ability to really make a push here.
Well, let's hope for it. They got my full support.
And guess what's around the corner?
Yep. Baseball.
Your Rebel baseball.
And got kind of segue, just to let y'all guys know that might be one of our millions of followers here.
Yeah.
Next weekend, I do have a friend of mine off the coast that's going to be joining us. Now, again, I don't want people to think he's a Rebel baseball expert, but he does follow it a lot closer than I do. Scouting guide type guy, gets it every year, reads it cover to cover, keeps score during the game, and all that, So he'll be on with us next week and just join the conversation.
Just curious, just really quick. Certainly you're the baseball guy between us two without question. Based on what you know, what you've seen, what are we expecting this year?
Man,
is it hard to say?
I mean, it's really hard to say, man. You got, that ball is round, but it bounces funny. And I mean, we get the right deals. We got some good people coming back. Hunter Elliott coming back is a huge
yes.
Coming back. It anchors that Friday night spot. If we can get some offensive firepower, I think we can host. I honestly think we can host a regional. Will we be a top 8? I don't know. But I think we can host a regional.
I did see this week that should it work out to where we were hosting a super regional, there's a huge concert at Vaught Hemingway Stadium that weekend. Did you see that?
No, I did not. Who is it?
Let's see. Jelly Roll is performing, and who else?
No, and Jelly Roll will probably be either like Laney Wilson or Post Malone or somebody like that.
I think it is Post Malone. Yeah, I think it's Post Malone.
Well, I'm an old country guy, and these guys here, they putting out some music that's almost like outlaw stuff, like the Waylon and Willie of the old days, just that style. But at the same time, they're jumping in from another genre, kind of like, well, we couldn't make it there. Let's see if we can get these hillbillies to like us, And so, I mean, I take it a little bit. I take my Jelly Roll and Post Malone and stuff like that. Michael Hardy is, even though he's a dadgum mutt fan from hell, but he puts out some pretty good country sounds. But
yeah, it's Post Malone. Post Malone and Jelly Roll. So I think that would be June 6th. Huge weekend. Does that sound right? June 6th or July 6th?
It'd be around that time. So no, it wouldn't be as far as July.
June 6th, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, that'd be a big weekend, wouldn't it?
That would be a huge weekend. Kind of, come as close to, it ain't going to be as close as the Tulane round 1's college football playoff weekend, but it'd be huge.
Yeah.
Well, let's transition to one more topic. Do you think we, as mankind, not me and you, but we as mankind,
don't ask me this. Don't do me this.
Damn, that's the stupidest dadgum thread. That thread would shave off at least 20 points of IQ points. And the more you read, and it's just, I'll go ahead and put myself on the record. I fully believe we landed on the moon in 1969. I think we went back to the moon all them times. And the reason I fully believe that is I've tried to keep a secret between 4 people before. Do you honestly think we could keep a secret with thousands of people involved?
Well, you can't keep a secret with other countries.
Honestly, I mean, they're all on board that we went to the moon. I honestly don't think that, I think that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. That's for the same reason. I'm not this conspiracy theory type guy. It's fun for some people, I guess, but damn, it's just, in the grand scheme of things, I don't give a shit any damn way. The whole moon race it wasn't even about getting to the moon. It was about ballistic missiles. We were in an arms race with Russia, and all these was just a way to test them sons of bitches. And that's pretty much a stated fact there. That's not a conspiracy theory. We were trying to mask what we were doing by using the moonshots. Having to try to get to the moon. Now, to the American people, it was about getting to the moon. We wanted to beat the Russians to the moon. But to the government,
I will say, there are some compelling oppositional points. Is that a word? Did I make that word up?
No, but I know what you're saying, but I don't think
the Van Allen radiation belts, notwithstanding,
weren't in it long enough to.
One thing that's always kind of bugged me. Of course, I know the answer to this question. Why we just stop? Why did we stop?
Well, the American people had lost interest. We'd already done it. Why we keep funding it? Why we keep throwing money at that? And we had already wanted to kind of transition into the shuttle stuff and start trying to figure out a way to put a base in space. Because the ultimate goal, I really think that for the space agency is let's try to get to Mars, and to do that we're going to need the moon again for that. But we had to get the other technology stuff. Now everybody's sitting there saying technology don't go backwards. Man, it ain't that the technology; it's that everything was geared around trying to get it. We had everybody in place and every different deal trying to do it, and then all of a sudden, when we stopped the program, well, they went off to doing different things. And it wasn't taught again. It wasn't taught, this is how we done it. This is, or whatever. So it's not really so much that we lost the technology. We didn't lose the technology. We tore down the infrastructure it took to to build the technology.
Yeah.
Including the people. We moved them on to different projects.
I've got a fun fact for you. I met, and I started to put this in that thread, and I said, no, I'm not going to do it. But when Neil Armstrong returned in that capsule that landed in the ocean, I met the Navy SEAL that was part of the team, not very many, 4 or 5 man team that went out there and recovered the capsule, and it got him safely to shore. And I spent about 15 minutes talking to that fellow one time. Many years ago. I was a kid, 20 years old, 20-something years old. And you want to talk about interesting. But this guy was impressive. He didn't get into any details of that situation, but that was his claim to fame. And that was a pretty cool deal, And I think it was 5 of them that were part of that team, and they went out there and got old dude. And, so.
Well, again, we got other things too to support the moon landings. There's been all these other countries.
Well, the equipment that's there.
They've seen the landers are there. They can see the descent stage of every one of our lunar modules is still on the moon. Every single one of those descent stages, and they're photographed by people that are not United States people and not even friends of the United States. Not exactly enemies, but not friends. So anyway, I just thought that thread was funny.
Our non-allies, there is no way they would let us take that win.
No.
If it didn't happen.
So just out of here, give me your best estimate right here. After reading that entire thread, how many IQ points do you think you lost?
Man, I don't know, but there were a lot of posters who I thought were stable human beings. Now I'm not so sure.
Wait till baseball season.
What was
let's
crazy
do
about
that
thread? The guys that don't think we went to the moon, they think you're just a fool if you believe it, an idiot. And the ones that think we went to the moon think you're just a fool if you don't believe it. That was interesting.
Well, I fall into that category. I think that I honestly think you're being foolish if you don't look at the empirical evidence that's in front of you. But at the same time, it is what it is, man. I would love to let's save that thread. Somehow try to save it, every page of it, if we could, and try to put some sort of a coalition or try to find a collaboration or whatever between those that don't think we land on the moon and the baseball posters that hang on every single pitch. Let's see if there's a. Let's see.
You think it's the same group?
It very well could be. That's what I'm saying. We need to cross check it. But
there was one guy, I can't even remember who it was, but man, he is dying on that hill. I'll tell you that. I wish I could remember which poster that was, but he kept coming back to those radiation belts.
Yeah.
And apparently the Van Allen guy himself has said it was not impossible to withstand that.
The speed that we went through.
The speed they were traveling, yeah.
We just weren't in it long enough. It's like getting an X-ray. It's literally what it's like. It's like getting an X-ray, and we've had several of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, we just brought that up for a little comic relief here, guys. We're going to try to at least always end these shows in some sort of a craziest thread on the site.
At some point.
How you like my horn legend, man, with the college football playoff logo, 2025 run on the side of it? That's a...
Yeah.
That horn legend stuff, they proud of it. It's higher than giraffe, you know what. But but it's well built. It's well not. I'm not. I mean, obviously we're unsullied by sponsorship, and I'm not trying to plug them. But I will say, if you want a really nice shirt, I'd check out their inventory, man.
That'll match them $120 Judkin socks you got.
I done burnt them some, man. We need to have us a burning ceremony because I got several Lane Train shirts we need to.
Yeah.
We need to do a burning here.
That'd be a party for sure.
Well, you good on it? Feel good about it?
Yes, sir. I think that's it for now. One of these days, for our ending topic, we're going to get into Bigfoot. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah. I do know that, I respect you for your musicianship. And one day I want the ending topic to be, let's discuss some good old rock and roll, man. We're going to, during the summer months, man, it's going to get dry.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to have to find something. So
yeah, we're going to be reaching at some point.
But anyway, again, we apologize for this one. This is going to drop on Thursday. Obviously, we try to drop them every Monday. I will not change our intro on it. It's still going to show it new episodes every Monday because we will have another one coming in on Monday. We'll tape again. We'll tape again Sunday afternoon, and we'll have a friend off the coast meeting us online there and discuss some Rebel baseball. We'll hit the football topics as usual. We're going to move and we're going to move pretty quickly and give a good bit of time to baseball. But well, that's about it for episode 17. As usual, if you like what we're putting out there, please subscribe, like, and share. And as always, comment. Let us know what you think we can do better. And again, keep our friends in Oxford and surrounding areas in your thoughts and prayers. For the Metal Reb and myself, until next time, hotty toddy, Rebel fans.
And go to hell LSU. And if they're the worst place, please go there.